Hello everyone, I know it's been a while over here, but I have new perfumes to review. I figured you guys would be interested in these. They are gourmands and you know, it's a lot of what I'm into at the moment. And I have to say, I think we have some hits and misses here. So I would love to know your thoughts if you've gotten your nose on any of these, but let's just get into Maison Mataha because I was so excited for this launch. We have Brownie Pop here. And you know, for the sake of the video, to let you guys know what's going on, I also did get Èvasion Bonbon as well. These are the newest perfumes from the house, but they're also the only other two besides Escapade Gourmande, which I love. Look at the dent, okay? Obsessed with this fragrance, but they're the only other perfumes in the line. So I was excited. And again, since Escapade Gourmande is such a beloved vanilla, I figured gourmand lovers would be curious. So let's get into Brownie Pop first because it is my favorite out of the two and the one if you were thinking of picking up. I think this is going to be like the safest. Not that I think you should blind buy these because I really don't think you should, but if you were going to, I guess this would be the easiest one or the safest one. With a name like Brownie Pop, I was expecting something pretty chocolatey, but I find this to be relatively tame when it comes to the chocolate. Initially, I feel like a lot of what takes over is the popcorn note that's in here. Yeah, it's just popcorny. It even right now, and I've never smelled this before, but I got a little Doritos chips, like corn tortilla, popcorn, like that is definitely in here, but there is a sweetness, don't get me wrong. There's definitely some chocolate going on, but it's not rich and dark and ooey and gooey. Like that is not the chocolate vibe in here at all. If anything, to me, it's more like a chocolate frosting, but because of the popcorn note, I don't know why, to me, it translates sometimes as coconutty. So I could almost see this being like a German chocolate cake vibe, but also with still some popcorn. There's still popcorn in here. You can't get over the fact of that. For the full list of notes on this, brown sugar, chocolate, biscuit, hazelnut, popcorn, vanilla, and sandalwood. So lots of foodie elements, and for sure this is a true like edible gourmand. It's just not a brownie to me. Like this does not smell like a brownie, but I will say I do enjoy that the kind of popcorn and even that biscuit, I think both of those notes, maybe even some of that hazelnut, are kind of converting in my nose as like a coconut thing, and I do like that it does that. I can definitely get down with like a chocolate coconut dessert. Like that is something I would gravitate to naturally. So I think that's nice about this. But had I not blind bought this, I don't know if I would have introduced this quite to my collection. This feels like a gourmand similar to creme brulee from Theodoros Calentini's. And although I like creme brulee, I really do. I actually like it more than Brownie Pop, but I feel like it does a foodie thing in a similar way where this is just very photorealistic, and specifically because it is so popcorn and like kind of, I don't know, like a weirder food to me. I feel like vanilla is easier. Even cake overall is kind of easier to wear for me. This one's definitely like more of a unique edible scent, I think overall. It kind of reminds me though, and it's been a long time and I don't have this fragrance, so keep that in mind, but Sol de Janeiro had a coconut body splash, and a lot of people called that like popcorn, like a popcorny note. And I don't know why, but to me, there's something related there, right? Where it's like, it was supposed to be coconut, but it smells like popcorn. This is supposed to be popcorn, but it smells like coconut to me. Anyway, that all being said, I'm still happy to have this one. And definitely out of the two, it is my favorite of the new ones, but Escapade Gourmande beats both of these out of the water, I gotta say, okay? And I feel like that's kind of inevitable. A vanilla is just so much more likable and easy to wear and just delicious. Whereas if we're going for candy, it can just, you know, people that are gonna love it are gonna love it, but there's gonna be a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Anyway, let's talk about Èvasion Bonbon because this one is definitely not for the faint of heart, okay? This is very sweet. It's almost syrupy, and it definitely has the vibe in the beginning of like a fruity flavored kids medicine. Like I can just remember having to drink this and being like, please dear God, don't make me drink that, Mom, please. But you have to, and it's horrible and you're gagging. Like that's the memories for this. There's also this flash though at the opening of this fragrance that is more like a red vine or like a Twizzler. So I do like that, and when my brain goes there, I'm like, okay, I can get behind that, but it is kind of a flash. It doesn't stay that way, and I know that a red vine and a Twizzler are like different smells, but I swear to you, this is kind of a combination of both. But it so easily goes into that kind of, yeah, kids medicine vibe, which is unfortunate. I mean, it is super sweet. I will give it that, and it does take me to childhood, but it is not in a straight up only candy way. There's definitely something in there that gives it more of a medicine kind of smell. And I also find in the dry down that it gets just really powdery and it almost takes on like a lipstick quality. So I could see some people liking that about it, but I do feel like overall it's this kind of powderiness, and even with some of the lipstickiness and maybe even waxiness that takes on, it also does have like a sharpness. And I wouldn't call it quite a spice, but again, the powderiness of it is not my favorite in the dry down. So I really feel like this is gonna be, again, not for everyone. I think some people are gonna love this, especially if maybe you don't have the recollection of taking kids medicine that tastes like this, or if you love something sweet and super fruity, if you don't mind something kind of powdery. I think this could be a fragrance people like, but I don't think it's as mass appealing as Brownie Pop, and I don't think either of the two are as mass appealing as Escapade Gourmande. To give you a full list of notes, strawberry and caramel in the top, chamalo, jasmine, and ylang ylang in the mid, and then vanilla and musk in the base. I think it's that musk to me that is just, it's like a sharper musk. So yeah, that's kind of my review. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've smelled Èvasion Bonbon, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? Do you get kids medicine like I do? Do you get that kind of Twizzlers in the opening? I just would love to know any of your thoughts. And again, as for Brownie Pop, although I don't know if I would have immediately bought this, now that I have it, I am excited to continue wearing it. This is one that I will like want to keep wearing. I could see myself throwing on every now and then, and I do hope it grows on me. But yeah, that popcorn note is there. It kind of does smell like the chocolate drizzled popcorn, like the kind that's like white chocolate, dark chocolate, like it's covered. The popcorn itself almost feels like an accent to the chocolate and all the toppings. I can see that, but I wish it was called chocolate covered popcorn or something. I feel like that would give you a better idea of what you're gonna get in here than Brownie Pop, because I still want to smell that like yummy gooey brownie. Like that sounds delicious. Anyway, not quite what I expected, not necessarily bad, but I also feel like not necessarily an immediate fave. And I am a little hopeful that Brownie Pop can at least grow on me a bit, because I feel like that's my experience with Escapade Gourmande. When I first smelled this, I was just like, it's kind of syrupy. I know a lot of people talk about this as being like a creme brulee scent or that kind of marshmallow, burnt marshmallow kind of scent, but when I first smelled this, I just could not get over how syrupy it was. But now, obsessed, okay? I get straight up marshmallow, like a bite out of a marshmallow, at least for me. I also get a little bit more of that toasted quality, but it's by no means burnt or anything like that to me. It's just so good, and again, like, I love it. So I'm hopeful Brownie Pop will become more of a fave, but I think by nature, it's just a more specific scent. And although Escapade Gourmande is sweet and edible and all those things, there's something about a vanilla that really is just more easygoing for all the time, you know? So those are the new Maison Mataha. Again, let me know any of your thoughts if you've smelled them. I want to know. Now let's get into Snif, because I did pick up Naughty Nonna, and I wanted to let you guys know my thoughts because this is another gourmand. It's supposed to smell kind of like a fruitcake, and because this is part of technically the No Noses Inc. line, which is kind of their experimental line, I didn't know what to expect, but I'm happy to say I do quite like this fragrance. And the first time I smelled it, I immediately was like, oh, creme couture. Like, this smells like creme couture. And although they smell very similar, there's still that bready quality in here that I feel like is very similar to creme couture. There is a bit of a kind of fruity, almost citrus take. I mean, I'm getting the most citrus I ever have right now, but I personally do not find this overly fruity in any way. I was a little nervous about that. I just didn't know the fruitcake, and I have to be honest, I'm not like familiar with eating fruitcake, so I'd love to know anyone's take on this fragrance, if you've smelled it, how it relates to a fruitcake to your nose. But I just have to say, I was grateful it wasn't overly fruity to me. And kind of to compare it to creme couture, I have to say creme couture is the lighter, sweeter, airier, bready version. Although this is supposed to be a croissant with like jam on it, I don't get any of the fruitiness. I don't get any of that jam. And even though I for sure do get the croissant note, I always think of like a yeast raised donut with like sugar on the outside. But that being said, it's definitely super bready. And this also has that same bready note, but Naughty Nonna smells a little less airy to me. It smells a little thicker in a way. It smells a little denser in a way without being too much also. Like, I don't want that to like scare you. I just want to give you kind of the differences. To give you some notes on this, this has candied ginger, bits of orange, prune, rum, walnut, vanilla glaze. For this having rum in it, I don't find it overly boozy. I really don't know if I would quite pick up on this. And in a way, I feel like it's a combination of creme couture from Snif and kind of Heal the Way. It's similar to Heal the Way in how thick it kind of is. I feel like that's a very comforting fragrance, and I feel like this has more of that quality to it, but then add a little bit of that ginger, a little bit of that orange, nothing too much, and I feel like that's kind of the vibe here. So I feel like this is one actually a lot more people than not are gonna like if you're into the notes that are already listed and kind of the vibe, especially though if you've smelled Creme Couture. I think this one could be a win. So I am very happy with this one. I was nervous about this one, but it pleasantly surprised me. And again, I feel like it's a lot more wearable. So very happy with this, very festive, very fun. I'm always excited about specifically the No Noses ink stuff just because I know it's gonna be a little bit more experimental. But this one feels a little more tame, honestly, for that side of things, especially compared to the Soda Snob and the pizza one. What was it called? Slice Society. Those ones that came out kind of in springtime, maybe summer. I don't know if my timeline's off on that, but those ones are definitely a little bit more experimental to me, and I'm very happy with this. So again, let me know your thoughts. If you're interested in this, I do have a code with Snif that is affiliated, but if you're gonna shop, you can use it to save some money. Okay, let's finally talk about the Kayali fragrance over here. If you are following me on my other channel, my beauty channel, I kind of already spoiled this over there. I just, you know, there's been a lot of videos, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm happy to say I really do like this. Is it refined? No. Is it sophisticated? No. And I had a comment that said this smelled like basically strawberries and cream vape juice, and I'm like, yeah, I could see that. But I really love this strawberry kind of marshmallow milkshake scent. I feel like it did give me what was in the photos, and I really wasn't going in expecting that, considering how Yum Pistachio went for me. That was one that definitely took a little bit of time to grow on me, and although now I love it, I don't think that it is straight up pistachio gelato in the way that I think this is straight up strawberry milkshake marshmallows. Like, I get that. Again, with the fruitiness, I was scared this was going to be overly fruity, kind of sharp, and there have been some different, basically like milky strawberry scents that have come out, and I just don't get that. I know a scent from Le Monde Gourmande came out, and I also didn't really think of it as milky. It honestly smelled a little bit more like a strawberry pez. It smelled more like candy, but I feel like they did a really good job of making this still creamy and lactonic and fluffy and sweet. And although the strawberry is in there, it definitely takes a back seat, and I love that. I love it. For the full list of notes on this, freesia, Italian lemon, nectarine, blossom, apple. I don't feel like I smell those at all. I mean, I think they're obviously doing something and probably in a lot of ways kind of balancing this, because I do feel like although this is super sweet, I don't know, I think it's still well done in that category. Anyway, into the mid, marshmallow, strawberry, coconut, orange blossom. In the base, whipped cream, sugar, vanilla, musk, raspberry, and ambroxan. And I really feel like you get all that stuff. Like, if those notes sound good to you, I think you would like this. For me, although this is called Boujee marshmallow, I don't necessarily get as much just straight up marshmallow. I feel like that's in it, but I do get more of like a strawberry milkshake that's made maybe with some coconut milk. I do get a little bit of that coconut and has some like marshmallow garnishes on top. Like, that's exactly what I get, and I've enjoyed wearing this so far. You know, I don't think this is gonna be for everyone, and I do think, again, you're gonna have to like something super sweet, super almost kind of creamy, but still fluffy and airy. It's not overly dense or too lactonic in any way, but I do get that kind of almost showery whipped cream kind of note that can come through in different lactonic fragrances. That's what I get from this. I really like it. This could have been like a spring launch though. I do feel like, you know, it's more light, sweet, fluffy, and it feels like springtime to me than like a winter kind of gourmand scent. But overall, very happy. Love to know your thoughts on the Kayali Yum Boujee Marshmallow. And last, I thought I would throw this in because I got an email from Pleasing, and I was like, you know what, let me check it out, because this was boasting notes of vanilla, and it was kind of like their version of a gourmand. This is called Welcome Dreams, and it says, wrap yourself in a gossamer cloak of vanilla, drift off into a world of familiar melodies, barely there whispers, and intricate shadow puppets come to life. I don't think that sentence makes sense. I'm like rereading it. I'm like, I don't know about that. Okay, anyway, get a little lost in the faintly dazed moment right before sleep takes hold and welcome dreams swoop in. Okay, so picture that. It says, Welcome Dreams is a pleasing riff on a vanilla-led gourmand scent. So I was like, okay, this could be amazing. I've smelled the other ones from the line. Nothing has got me to buy, but I was like, a vanilla, ears perk up, I'm listening. Slight, playful, and laced with nostalgia. Sweet, but not too sweet, and that should have been my key. Inviting and more than a little sensuous, its complex amber woodiness is a welcome source of balance, depth, and mystery. This has notes of Indonesian clove buds, caramel, jasmine petals, agar wood, Indonesian patchouli, Okay, patchouli. Write it down, take a note. Madagascar Vanilla Absolute and Black Amber. So, you know, I was hopeful that this could be something, maybe a deeper vanilla, something a little sexy. But with Dreams, I thought it would be maybe a little bit more, I don't know, light. But this to me is pretty heavy and immediately reminded me of Kayali's Sugared Patchouli. The full name is Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli, which, don't get me wrong, both of these aren't bad scents by any means. I think they're vanillas for someone, but they are definitely patchouli vanillas. Ooh, the Kayali's is a lot more boozy though, I will say. This smells like I'm straight up smelling alcohol. I just feel like the patchouli takes over, the clove even, it's a little spicy, and sure, it's smooth. It has a smoothness to it, and even a kind of sexiness to it. I get that. It's more a date night, sexy vanilla if you're into this kind of scent, but I find it just a little heavy, and although I'm describing it as smooth, it is just, to me, a little sharp and jarring just because I don't love patchouli, and again, I just feel like the patchouli really comes out. I was hoping for something, and I know it said it wasn't too sweet, but more vanillic in a sweeter way to counterbalance maybe some of those other notes, and I just thought I would let you know in case you had your eye on this and you were like excited for it. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone, and you're gonna wanna have to love a patchouli note, and I think whether you like Kayali's Vanilla Royal Sugared Patchouli, if you like that scent, I think it would be a good marker on if you would like this or not. If you don't, it's not gonna be for you. If you do like that scent, this could be something you'd also enjoy, and I find this just a little less boozy, but definitely within that same kind of vein. And I'm gonna leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed just a few little reviews on some new fragrances, some hits, some definite misses, you know, just for me personally. I have done a little Black Friday shopping, so I'll probably have a Black Friday haul. I don't want to spoil my haul too much, but this morning I was so happy to see that 1111 Vanilla from Lake and Sky was on sale, because I was hoping that fragrance would go on sale, and I didn't realize it's an Ulta exclusive. They don't even sell it on the Lake and Sky site because they're doing like 31% off over there. And so anyway, I snagged that this morning because my bottle's almost gone, but there are some other new additions as well, so I will be sharing that with you. I also have some advent calendars coming up, so I'm excited for that. But I hope you guys had a good holiday weekend if you celebrate, if you're in the US. And just in general, I feel like holiday season is in full effect, so I hope you guys are enjoying yourself and having some good times. But I'm gonna see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.